Hey, welcome to Write More Light. My name is Sarah. I'm with the Midwest Writing Center, and we are back to our regularly scheduled programming. Today, we're doing something really pretty low key, but also like really, really important. I'm thinking about this as like um, as I come back into doing this in the new school year. Um, I'm thinking about the things that I need, the building blocks to like feeling like a real writer. And things like in yoga circles, they talk about beginner's mind, which I've talked about before on this series. So if you're interested in that, you can find that. Um, but today we're going to be talking about how journaling makes you a better writer. First, in case you're unfamiliar with the way this little show goes, I'm going to talk for a little while, or if somebody else is here, I'll interview them for a little while, and then we will have a writing prompt. And then I'll give updates on the Midwest Writing Center because today is about journaling. Spoiler alert, the prompt will be journaling. So I'm not going to do that one live. I'm just going to, oh, I didn't bring my calendar in here. That'll be goofy. I'm just going to go straight from the little talk into updates on the Writing Center. And importantly, I'd like to add for you who's starting this video being like, what is happening? Um, I'm realizing now that you would be able to see how many minutes are in the video, but it's going to be a short one today. Um, like I said, working on like building blocks and getting things right and feeling good about our writing rather than um rather than throwing all that pressure on at once. So that's pretty important to me, especially like right now in my life. But it's really important to me as someone who works in writing and has writing students. It's super, super important to me that we never look at writing as an obligation or as a chore. If that's how it feels, take a break. It's not ever going to be good if it feels bad. It's just true. No, I'm not interested in this moment in talking about like writing from a tough emotional place. Difficult and bad are different things. We'll probably get to that someday. I should make a note. Okay, so today we're talking about how journaling makes you a better writer. And this is something at the Writing Center we talk about journaling a lot because it has all of the benefits, not just for writing, but like for being a person, and especially a person who engages with feelings and observations. A lot of writing is based on, but it's really like a combination of two things, right? We've got feelings, maybe three things. We've got feelings, we got people, and we've got events. And that's kind of the whole shebang, really. um, so when we journal, some people do like guided journaling and have prompts for their journaling, and that's awesome. Honestly, I think that prompts of any kind and guided art of any kind can be really, really helpful in like learning how to do that thing. So I really want to say if that's your jam, or if you're not sure, if you like don't want to journal, but you think it's a good idea because I said it is, that's a good way to go. You can like go out and find either online or in a store, like online for free, or in a store, library, like things that are guided journals, and it'll be like really did not come prepared today. I apologize. I have some. They're just kind of far away. Um, it'll be like my 10th birthday, or the color blue makes me think of, or make a list of all the things that are troubling you. In the Bujo world, bullet journaling, which by the way is not what we're talking about today. Um, and if for some reason you're interested, I think bullet journaling is cool. But there are channels and channels and channels dedicated just to bullet journaling. So have at that as you will. It's not my area of expertise. Um, but Bujo speak would call the list of like the things occupying your time or occupying your mind, taking up your time, taking up your energy as a brain dump. I think those are awesome, and those absolutely count as journaling. Um, But yeah, that's if you need a prompt for your journaling, guided journals exist. They're very cool. Um, if not, if you're like me, I only journal when I will periodically start a journaling practice. This is a full disclosure space. I will start a journaling practice and I'll be like, I know I need to journal. I know it makes me better as a person. I know it makes me better as a writer. I know it helps me understand myself better. I'm going to journal at 10 a.m. every day. That would be really weird time to do it for me personally. But I'll do that sometimes at bedtime, in the morning, whatever. And I'll do it for like a couple of weeks and then it's over. And that's okay. And all the stuff I just said is absolutely true for me and for most people. Um, and the reason for that is the reason that it makes me a better writer, a better person, and helps me understand myself better is because you have to slow down your thoughts when you write them and you have to put them into words. Not all people think in words. That's the first important nugget. Um, but you are forced to slow down because our thoughts don't our thoughts are much faster than we can write. And I also want to encourage this as a by hand thing. Obviously, not everyone is able to handwrite, but if you are able, there are really cool studies on the brain to body connection in writing physically, and also that's the way our bodies learned to write over centuries. So it's still the more natural thing for our bodies, and that may not always be the case, but it is something that our bodies have learned to do. Yeah, so that is the first thing. I said the guided thing. I've got a bulleted list over here of things I'm going to talk about, and I'm just getting off track anyway. Um, so if you are like me and you're just trying to journal, and it didn't occur to you to get prompts because it never occurs to me to get prompts, or I see the prompts and then I start flipping through them and I'm like, but I don't like this one, but I don't like this one, but I don't like this one. Ooh, this one hits too hard. Um, what I tend to do in those instances is, and I'm going to be talking about me most of the time in this video. I'm really experienced with journaling, and um, I'm the place I can speak for me. I will occasionally talk about other writers I know, other artists I know, or who I've seen speak on the topic, but it'll mostly be about me. Generally, I start out with just whatever the thought in my head is, which is usually, this is true, which is usually, I don't really feel like journaling right now, but I feel like I should. Almost always, like almost always, unless something's like really on my mind. Um, Occasionally it'll be like, here is what I've done so far today, and here is what I think about that. And after a few sentences, sometimes it's more difficult. After a few sentences, the thoughts will just come out more easily. My brain will sort of focus in. This is normal. There are studies on this too. Um, your brain will sort of focus in on the thing that you need to be expressing, and that's the sweet spot. And then you're probably going to write until you're done. That said, if you have limited time or whatever, make sure you set an alarm. Um, or if you get to a spot where it's like, oh, I did not know I needed to unload some baggage, then, make sure that you have time to sort of seal that up, tie that bow so that you don't walk away from it in a bad place. But yeah, after a few sentences, it should start coming pretty naturally. The other thing is when responding to a prompt, it's okay to leave that prompt if what you're working on gets to be what you're writing gets off topic, like doesn't really matter. The purpose is to do this journaling practice. um so I want to do a little bit of a how to slash no pressure moment on journaling. I'm sorry, I don't like everything near me is making noise. Because I feel like we act like everybody knows what journaling is, or like everybody knows what free writing is. I have had many times in my life, probably an embarrassing large number of times in my life, where I'm like participating in something and there's a free write and there's a prompt. And so I think I am like required to answer the prompt. And like I at least half the time the prompt does not speak to me. And that's okay too. You can just write what comes. And that's perhaps the most important thing about journaling is like this is a absolutely no pressure situation. Just no one will ever see this unless you want them to. And you don't have to keep it. You don't have to look at it ever again. The purpose of this is to get you comfortable using words. And that's pretty much all of it is about comfort. Um, when we when we journal, right, we're not calling it writing. I mean, we will, but we're not calling it writing because the purpose of this um isn't to create a piece of art, right? If it ends up being a piece of art or inspires a piece of art or like has some beautiful language in it or whatever, or you think of a piece of art or you start working on art in the middle of it, that's awesome. But we can't go into journaling that way. We have to go into journaling with like the intention of journaling. We're doing this to make our own selves better or to like get something off our chest. I did know somebody who said that journaling always got them more worked up, like if they tried to journal when they were upset. And that's a thing that can absolutely happen. It's not very common. And the reason it's not very common is because usually, by virtue of being in the setting where it's safe to do that expression, you can sort of work things out. Maybe not solve the whole like larger problem that you're dealing with, but you learn to get a handle on your emotions, how you feel about the situation, and potential solutions, or at least like how to navigate. And I'm not saying like journaling is magic, absolutely not saying that. But if you sort of let it play out, that is the magic of it, is that you begin to understand your own feelings about things because it's normal to like be going through life and something crappy happens and you're angry. Um, and then you just keep being angry and keep being angry. And and this is when I get mad, is when I do that, right? And I don't want to journal and I'm like, I should journal because I'm trying to have a journal practice. And then I journal and I'm like, oh, well, I solved that problem. Cool. Did not realize I was mad because my feelings were hurt. I thought that I was mad because people are mean. Bad example. I don't have anything specific in mind, and so I couldn't. That tea was hot. Uh, yeah. So that is the magic of journaling, really, is that like it really helps you understand your own mind and process things in a way that we can't otherwise because of that slowing down. Okay. I think I've been repetitive enough on that topic. Um, so another piece of this is if you have a journaling practice, you have a writing practice. And that matters. I know moments ago I said, we're not going to call this writing, but it is writing. Uh, the way I'm differentiating is right, like I didn't set out to make a piece of art. Um, but the thing is, the more that you are sitting down with a pen, the more comfortable you are sitting down with a pen. It becomes a very natural situation with some time. And and that's all that matters. You have created a writing practice by writing. That's a big deal. I don't know how to emphasize that really. But speaking is not the way that I best express myself. Guess what? I prefer writing. But just having that practice of sitting down and writing, even if it's like brain rot, you're still writing and you're getting more comfortable with writing. Even if you don't like feel like you're getting more comfortable with writing, this is the other bit because you're practicing. That's what it is. It is practicing writing. It's rehearsal. Um, it's the lesson. It's your guitar lesson before, learning songs or playing a show. Um, you are also becoming more fluent. Your language is becoming more fluent. Your ability to put words together, I'm defining fluency for my purposes in this moment. Your ability to put words together in a way that is accurate to your feelings or to what you're trying to say is going up every time you do it. Um, and your ability to find, so in that, your ability to find the words you want is getting easier. And your your mastery of language is getting better. So that's number one, that fluency, so big. Um, and it's practiced in other ways too. We're sort of accidentally becoming more observant because you can see something. I was trying to just like illustrate seeing by looking up. We can see something and like process it, and it's there in our minds, but it's not going to stay there. And we're not going to like think about the details ever again. But if we are journaling about an event that happened in our day, like buying a croissant, it's not something I've done in this year, but maybe you bought a croissant and you're, for whatever reason, you're journaling about buying this croissant. You're gonna be pulling up that memory when it's present and you're going to remember more details. And so you're going to be processing how to describe those details. And that can be about your barista. I guess you're buying it at a coffee shop. And that can be about the sounds of the space or the smell of the place or the way that the other customers spoke. Like you're refining your ability to observe by putting words to it. And that's why language is so cool. Um, but you're also like, so your powers of observation are improving with emotional observation as well. I wanted to say like environmental observation. I wanted to focus on that for a minute, which I focused on for 4 seconds. Um, but your emotional observation is going up too because of the processing, right? You are by describing your feelings, but even if it's just like really straightforward, like I felt sad or I felt nauseated. I know that nauseated is not an emotion, just to be clear. um, you're eventually elaborating, you're eventually using more language or different language and um describing the situation that surrounds that feeling, whether it is physiological or emotional. And that is improving your writing because like I said, when we're writing, we've got people, we've got events, and we've got emotions. And anything we're going to journal about is also going to be about those things. Um, I want to specify, I think that I made it sound like we're speaking specifically about narrative writing. Um, non-narrative writing, poetry, scripts all benefit from journaling. It's kind of it's the same as practicing language, right? Like if you're learning a spoken language, that's exactly what we're doing, but with our fluency in the written language. And the other, I've said everything. We're increasing our emotional observation skills and our environmental observation skills. We're growing more comfortable with the form. We're growing fluency in just in the practice, in the craft, and we're building a writing practice. I may have said this already, but the thing that I really, really, really want to underscore is that it is a no pressure activity. And the more low or no pressure work we can do in our craft, the easier it will be to work in our craft and the better our writing will be in the end. But if it is not a good time to engage with the craft, and I think that's usually mental, like when I say mental, I mean it's usually we've got something stressing us out about it. Um, then we're just never going to actually sit down and do it because it sucks to do the thing. And doing the thing is the only required part of doing the thing. All right. So I hope that was encouraging. That was not maybe my fast video. But it's not that complicated a it's not that complicated a topic. And we're doing baby steps here, right? Okay, so upcoming events with Midwest Writing Center. First, submissions are open for the Foster Stall chapbook series, and we've extended historically we end that submission period in December. We're gonna have submissions open through March 1. The Foster Stall chapbook series is our annual chapbook series. We publish at least one every summer. That'll be like a year out, right? Um, we accept hybrid works, we accept prose, we accept poetry, fiction, nonfiction. Um, we do not accept translation, but and we do not accept illustrations. But otherwise, the sky is the limit as long as it's a chapbook. We also have submissions open right now for our new, oh, and sorry, the chapbook series is open to anyone in states that are served by Arts Midwest. So that is Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Ohio, and Wisconsin. We are also accepting submissions right now for a new collaboration with Galvin Fine Arts Center. Last year we did the Radical Hospitality project with them. This year their theme is being human in the age of AI. So we're looking for super short work from folks living in our 6 county service area. So that's the Quad Cities, Iowa, Illinois, um, Clinton, Scott, Muscatine, Henry, Mercer, and Rock Island counties. So we'll accept, again, any genre. Poetry should be 30 lines or shorter. Prose should be 500 words or fewer. Submissions are open until December 1st of this year, and the book will be published in April. Just like last year, folks who are accepted to this anthology will receive $100 for their work. We will have a reading competition, like a live reading competition, which will also have cash prizes. Um, Everyone will receive copies of the book if they are accepted, and preference will go to, sorry, not preference, but we expect 20% of the anthology to be from the St. Ambrose University community. So that's exciting. There's no fee for submitting to that. Details are on our website. It's because the theme is so different from most themes. There are a lot of really specific guidelines surrounding use of AI or large language models, I think is the technical term for it. But all the info is on our website, mwcqc.org. This is what I'm really, really excited about because the Young Emerging Writers program is so special to us, and we badly want it to be something we can engage with year round. And so we are starting a young emerging writers workshop every month. 2 days a month, we're going to meet. One day will be online, one day will be in person at the Writing Center. That is the second and third Tuesdays of the month from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. So it's open to 15 through 19-year-olds in the area. Who want to be engaged with writing. We'll have some free writing at the start, and then we'll move into workshopping each other's work and just generally like being in a writing world together. Then on September 24th, we're going to resume our annual Banned Books celebration. That reading, I think I already said, is September 24th, 5:30 to 8 p.m. It's at the Watts Midtown branch of the Rock Island Public Library. This is honestly like a very cool event. Like it kind of sounds weird that like we're all getting together to read other people's writing, but it's really cool because you have these really, really smart, lovely people, writers and book lovers who choose their favorite banned book and then read a passage from it. But oftentimes we talk about like why the book was banned or why the book matters, and that creates this really, really honestly invigorating conversation surrounding book bans. And earlier this year there was a group that got together to protest book banning in Bettendorf. Um, and so like we know our community cares about this, which is really exciting. So actually, if folks want to participate, like anybody can come. It's free. It's open to the public. But if you wanted to participate, if you've got a book you're really passionate about, you can email Ryan at MWC at mwcqc.org, and say, I want to participate. Here's the book I have in mind. Let me know what I need to do. So that's MWC at mwcqc.org. We've got a new workshop coming up Saturday, October 12th, 10 a.m. Central. It's on writing from a changing place. It's about both physical and emotional changes, and how it's specifically, we'll talk about physical locale. And digging into like the experiences of a place and how to write in this changing moment. What else do we have? We've got a Spectra reading series return October 9th with Elliot Sky Case, who's a Midwest Reading Center Press author of one of my favorite chapbooks. It's called Get Home Safe. I can't. I'm so excited. We just got the go ahead on this. It's going to be really, really amazing. Of course, it's going to be at Rostalks. Like I don't even have all the details, so I feel very good about having this information right up front so fast. And then of course, I was gonna say then of course, Write More Light is back. You're watching it right now. You know that. And then Writer's Studio, first and third Saturday of every month, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We've got an online version. We've got an in-person version for September of 2024. Maybe you're watching this in 6 years. Our dates are going to be opposite because I am traveling. That's what I've got for you. So please sit down with your journal, practice 5, 10 minutes, give yourself some time, give yourself some space, and write more light into your life.